I am really bad at finishing series. And with fantasy being my favorite genre, I obviously start a lot of them. That's where my new vlog series comes in, Sequel Spinner. I've put all the sequels I own on a wheel. There's a lot of them. And these are only the ones where I own the next book in the series. And the plan is that I will do a vlog from time to time where I just spin this wheel and read the sequel that I get to force me to continue and finish the series that I'm reading. There are also prequels on here and interconnected standalones because I'm also a romance reader, so I read a lot of romance series where they're interconnected and each book follows a different couple. So there's a few of those on here. But yeah, I'm pretty scared of how this will go. I'm planning on reading 2 or 3 books in this vlog, depending on which books I get, because there are thick boys on here. The second book of Stormlight Archive is on here. If I get that one, it will be 2 books. Or maybe just 1 if it's the first book I get. It will take me 2 weeks to finish that book. It's over 1,000 pages. So yeah, let's spin, I guess. And I'm a little bit scared of how this will go. What is it? Oh, The Dream Thieves. Okay, let me grab the book. So this is The Dream Thieves. This is the second book in the Raven Boys cycle. I've read that one, I don't remember, a year ago, a year and a half ago. Not sure. I own the Dutch translations because I think they are gorgeous. The fourth book and the final book came out, I think, last month, and I still need to grab that one. Then my series is complete. I gave the first book in this series 3 stars. I was a little bit disappointed because I thought I would love it. It would be like this YA fantasy series that I kind of missed out on when I was younger and that I would absolutely love. But it was okay, but I did want to continue. But that's kind of why I've been putting off this second book. But I hope that I will love it more. And we'll see how this goes. So I've made it 134 pages into The Dream Thieves. So I made decent progress. Like, I'm this far into the book. And honestly, I haven't been updating the vlog because I just don't have a lot to say about this book, which is kind of sad when you're doing a reading vlog. I just feel like it's been very slow moving, and only now where I'm like, I think 30% into the book, I feel like things are starting to happen. So I don't know, there have been a lot of scenes where I'm just questioning, like, why are we spending so much time on this? Like, maybe it will be relevant later on, but right now, I don't know. I don't hate it, but my intrigue isn't that high. So, not really enjoying it more than the first book, I would say, at this moment. So we'll see if I want to continue after the second one, which is the same because I have these beautiful editions and I still need to get the fourth book, and now I'm starting to doubt, like, maybe I should wait a little bit longer if I want the fourth one in this edition. But I can't wait too long because then the ones with the sprayed edges won't be available anymore. So yeah, not a lot to say in this update, so I'm sorry, but that's it. I will read a little bit more and see if anything changes. It will kind of depend if I do another update throughout the book or once I've finished, if like I have things to say or not, because right now it's like probably another 3-star read, I would say. I have finally finished The Dream Thieves. This took me a month to finish. I have been reading other books alongside it, and my last read was a 5-star read, and I think that kind of put me into a book hangover, but like my reading has been slow in general for the past few weeks, but this was a struggle and I should have DNF'd this. But I'm very bad at DNFing, and the point where I got the feeling like I don't want to read this anymore. I only had like 80 pages left, and that felt weird in my head to DNF the book. I don't know exactly how long it took me to finish those last 80 pages, but it was a long time. So I should have DNF'd this, and this wasn't a success. I gave this 2 stars. It's my least favorite book of the year so far. And I'm DNFing the series. For Sequel Spinner, I don't know. This is not what I imagined that my first book would be for this vlog series, but I guess it's good because I'm scrapping series from my list. But I'm sad because I already had book 3. We'll be unhauling all of these. They're very pretty and I'm sad about it, but I'm kind of happy that Sequel Spinner gave me this book because I think I said in the first clip that the 4th book came out not so long ago in this edition. And yesterday I saw it in a bookstore, and if I wasn't reading the 2nd book for this series, I would have bought that. So I guess it's good because now I'm only unhauling 1 book that I haven't read instead of 2. It's kind of a win. I realized that in the last few clips I didn't actually tell you what this series is about, and that's because I find this series very hard to explain. So the Raven Boys, the first book in the series, is about Blue, and Blue is part of a family where all the female members are clairvoyant, but Blue isn't clairvoyant. But she has the power to, when like someone else who's clairvoyant touches her, like her shoulder or her hand or something like that, their power becomes stronger. So there's this night each year where the line between the living and the dead is very weak, and then they can see ghosts, and I think they see the ghosts of the people who will die in the next year. So she goes with her mother, and normally she can't see the ghosts, but this year she sees 1 ghost, and it turns out that this is the ghost of Gansey, a boy who still lives, but the fact that she saw his ghost means that he's going to die within the year. And he's a Raven boy, and that means he goes to this very prestigious academy for boys. So Blue goes to like the public school, and she kind of gets involved with these Raven boys who are on a quest to find something, but I'm not going to explain that because it's a little bit later in the books. But the whole setup is that Blue, there's this prophecy from her family that she will kill her true love when she kisses him, or like her true love will die. She doesn't know if she will kill him or something else, but she can't kiss him. And that's kind of like the tension we have with like, she saw the ghost of Gansey, and does this mean this is her true love and that she will kill him? But obviously there's a lot more going on than that. But I found this series very confusing. That was already something that I was struggling with in the first book, but the 2nd book was worse for me because the first book did have enough things to intrigue me, especially the ending to continue on. But this one, it was such a drag. And I'm having a bit of trouble explaining why it's not working for me, because on paper I think it sounds like a series that I would love. A lot of people that love this series love other books that are some of my favorite books. So we have the same taste in books, so I thought I would also enjoy this. But apparently not. And I think that I have 2 main issues with this series. And the first one is it's very character driven, which is something that I normally love. Most of my favorite books are very character driven, but I don't care about these characters. My problem is I can't explain why. I don't know why I don't care about them, but there's not a single character in here that I care about, so I don't care what happens to them, what they're going through. I don't care about any of it. And that's my main problem, so I'm just really bored. And then the second thing is, this is a paranormal young adult fantasy series, and the paranormal or magical elements in this, there are very soft. It's soft magic system, which is also normally not necessarily a problem for me, but here I just found it weird and confusing and sometimes a bit random. There are interesting elements in this series. We have like someone who can, it's called the dream thief, so there's someone who can take objects out of dreams and into reality. And that's a cool concept. And something that on paper I would love, but I don't know. I have a hard time explaining why I don't like this series, but it's just boring to me and I don't want to continue because this took me a month and I'm not doing that to myself anymore. So that was our first book for Sequel Spinner. Do have to say, because it's taken me a month to finish the first book, I will only do 2 books in this vlog because I want to move on to another vlog. But let's see what our second book will be. So we have our wheel with all of the sequels on it. Obviously I took the Dream Thieves off. I didn't add the third book, but I did add 2 sequels that I bought yesterday that recently came out in series that I was up to date with, but now I have a sequel to read. I'm not sure what I want the wheel to give me. There are a few on here that I think I would rather not get because I really need a win now. I need a book that engages me, that I find intriguing, that I want to read. I don't think I want Terry Pratchett. Is there something else that I really don't want? I don't think I want Parable of the Talents, but I've been putting that up for a while. And I don't know. I think I would like Onyx Storm maybe, or The Enchanted Greenhouse, or maybe a romance book. I don't know. We'll see what the wheel has in store. Immortality. That's not one I'm very excited about, I think. And I feel like that would be better in the fall, but let me get the book. So we have Immortality, which is the sequel to Anatomy. And I read this in last October, I think. Last fall, somewhere. And this is a YA historical fiction series, I would say. And I gave the first book 3 stars. There were some things that bothered me, but I did want to continue. And it's only a duology, so this is the last book. But I do have to say, I think people who loved the first book didn't love the second book as much. So, not sure about this one. Maybe I have to tell myself, if I don't like this, I have to DNF, because I don't really want another book that's not intriguing me or that I don't really want to read. So we'll see how this goes, but we could be looking at a DNF, I think. But this is more like gothic, romance, mystery, historical. It's a bit of a mix of things about this girl who wants, it's like, I think 19th century or 18th century. Yeah, it's 19th century Edinburgh. And she wants to be a surgeon, but she's a woman, so she can't be a surgeon. She meets like this guy who is a resurrection man. I will give you a better explanation once I've started reading Immortality, and we'll see how that goes. I made it halfway through Immortality and I thought now is a good time to do a little update. I do have to say I've been struggling with reading again because of the heat wave we've been having in Europe for the past week and a half. We've had temperatures going up to like 37, 38 degrees Celsius. And I'm not made for that. I really struggle with hot weather. I get unwell really easily and I just couldn't function. I couldn't sleep. Work has been hard because of that. Everything has been hard. But 2 days ago, I went to this little coffee shop. I inserted some clips and there I read like 100 pages. So it's really not reading that's bothering me. It's just like the heat and focusing on stuff that's hard for me. And we also went to see Toy Story 5 because cinema was a bit cooler. We were really just trying to figure out like how to survive in the heat wave because our apartment gets really, really hot. And I really, really enjoyed Toy Story 5. I liked it a lot more than Toy Story 4. Won't do like a full review here, but I'm a big Disney fan, especially Pixar movies, and yeah, had a lot of fun doing that. And I got a little bit of a break from the heat. So back to the book updates. Was enjoying Immortality when I was reading it in the cafe, like the first 100 pages. I was enjoying, but I was also wondering, like, why are we having this sequel? I was struggling a little bit with figuring out what is the point of this sequel? What are we doing? Now I'm at a point where the plot is becoming more clear, but there's one thing that's kind of bothering me. We have historical figures that are playing a part in the story. We have, for example, Lord Byron. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not a big historical fiction reader in general, but I don't like it when historical figures are a character in a story. They can be mentioned, maybe they appear in one scene, but when they're really an important character, I struggle with that. So that's something that, like, in the last few chapters, where like the historical figures are becoming a bigger part in the story, is something that I'm having a little bit of an issue with. But I do really like the atmosphere of the story, more in the beginning than now, because the first book and now the first part of the second book, they take place in Edinburgh, and I thought that this book would be better to read in fall, but actually reading this during a heat wave, I loved the vibe of rain in Edinburgh and Hazel living in, our main character Hazel, living in this cold castle. That gave me a little bit of a break also from the heat. So I'm enjoying that. Now she's in London, still enjoying the atmosphere there, but I don't know how I feel about these historical figures. Don't really like that. Thinking if I have anything else to say, but I don't think so. I hope that I will be able to sleep tonight, because it's finally starting to cool down a little bit, and I hope that will stay this way for more than a week, like a week for our apartments to cool down, and I hope I can read again and function. I finished Immortality. Unfortunately, it's a 2.5 star read for me, so it was better than The Dream Thieves, and I never felt the urge to DNF this one, but in the end, it kind of fell flat, and I feel like it was an unnecessary sequel. Events at the end of Anatomy lead directly into the sequel of Immortality, so we have a reason for this sequel. But I feel like I would have liked Anatomy to end differently so that it could stand on its own, because this, I don't know, the first part of this was still set in Edinburgh, like the first book was, but the second part was set in London. So I also feel like we lost a little bit of the atmosphere that made Anatomy stand out. I did finish the duology, but I think I am unhauling it, which means I am unhauling 5 books in this vlog. So enjoyment-wise, this first episode of Sequel Spinner wasn't a success. Didn't really enjoy the books that picked for me, but I finished one series, decided to DNF another, getting rid of 5 books, which means more space on my shelves. So in that regard, I would call this a success. And I mean, the wheel gave me some books that I needed to get to and decide what I wanted to do with the series. So that's good. If you made it to the end of this vlog, leave me, I think there's a black bird, leave me like a black bird or a raven emoticon in the comments if you don't have anything to say, just to let me know that you were here. Make sure to subscribe if you want to follow me on my next bookish adventure. My next vlog will be a vlog for Summerween, so that will be like more horror and thriller focused, and I will see you in whatever comes next.